This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
What if I told you that slavery never really ended? It just evolved. Not with chains or whips this time, but with deadlines, with alarm clocks, with bills, with endless scrolling and invisible pressure. Today's slavery doesn't live on plantations, it lives in your pocket, in your bank account, and even inside your mind. You think you're free because you can choose your coffee flavor, pick your favorite Netflix show because you can vote once every few years. But ask yourself this: if you stopped working today, how long could you survive? A week? A month? And who really controls your time, your attention, your desires? This isn't just a conspiracy. This is your reality. And by the end of this video, you'll never see the world the same again. We were taught that getting a job was the goal. Go to school, get good grades, get a degree, and then get a job. That's the dream, right? But let's break this down. Most people wake up to an alarm they hate, rush through traffic to sit in a cubicle for 8 to 10 hours, under fluorescent lights doing something they don't enjoy, only to come home too tired to live their actual lives. And that's considered normal? Let me ask you this. How many people do you know who actually love their jobs, who wake up excited for work? Stats show that over 70% of employees are disengaged, unhappy, or outright miserable. But they can't leave. Why? Because rent is due, because they've got mouths to feed, because they owe thousands in debt. So they stay, clocking in, clocking out, hoping for a raise that barely beats inflation. This isn't freedom, it's survival. We work for money, then use that money to buy back small scraps of time we already owned. That's not living. That's a slow death with a steady paycheck. Let's rewind a bit. Where did this all start? School, but not the kind that encourages curiosity or creativity. No, we're talking about the factory model school system. You sit in rows, obey bells, memorize, repeat, don't question, just do what you're told. Sound familiar? That's because this system was designed in the 1800s to create obedient factory workers. And today, it still works the same. Most schools don't teach you how to think, they teach you what to think. They don't teach financial literacy or how to start a business, or how to handle relationships, stress, or life. But you sure can memorize historical dates and math formulas you'll never use. The result? Millions of people graduate with no idea how the world works, except now they're 18 years old, drowning in debt, and too afraid to ask why. This system never really served them. Let's talk about the dark side of the internet, the addiction that no one likes to admit: porn. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's deadly. Not deadly in a physical sense, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Every time you click, swipe, or scroll through explicit content, your brain gets a rush of dopamine, your pleasure chemical. And just like drugs, over time, it needs more extreme, more frequent, more detached from reality. But here's the truth. It's not just adult entertainment. It's engineered addiction. Big tech companies know exactly how to hijack your brain. They study your habits, your urges, your weaknesses, and they use that data to keep you hooked. Porn doesn't just affect your pleasure. It reshapes your expectations. It rewires your brain, and it disconnects you from real love, real relationships, and real intimacy. It isolates you, it weakens you, and worst of all, it makes you think it's normal. But it's not. It's enslavement disguised as freedom. Now, let's talk about your phone. That little device in your pocket, it's the new master. On average, people check their phones over 100 times a day. Mindless scrolling, endless notifications, likes, DMs, shares, feels like connection, but it's not. It's control. Every app you use is fighting for your attention. They want you distracted, anxious, addicted. Why? Because your time is money. The longer you scroll, the more ads you see. The more ads you see, the more they profit. They don't want you productive, they want you consuming. And the worst part, social media doesn't just steal your time, it steals your self-worth. It convinces you you're not good enough, that you're behind, that everyone else is prettier, richer, happier. And that's the trap. We've traded our mental health for digital validation. You want to talk about chains? Let's talk about debt. Most people enter adulthood already enslaved. Student loans, credit cards, car payments, mortgages. By the time you're 25, you owe thousands before you've even made your first real dollar. And what happens next? You spend the next 30 years working, not to build wealth, but to pay off interest. Interest that compounds, interest that doesn't sleep, interest that owns your future. This isn't freedom, this is financial slavery. And the system is built that way on purpose, because a person in debt is a person who doesn't ask questions, a person too tired to rebel, a person too busy trying to survive, to even think about escape. They say money can't buy happiness, but they'll still try to sell it to you. Everywhere you look, ads, buy this, wear that, drive this, upgrade, upgrade, upgrade. But here's the dirty secret. The system doesn't care if you're happy. It just wants you consuming. Because the more you buy, the more you owe. The more you owe, the more you work. And the more you work, the less time you have to actually live. We've been programmed to chase happiness in material things, to believe that success means stuff, that fulfillment comes in packages. But real joy, real purpose, that's not sold in stores. You want to know the most dangerous kind of slavery? It's not physical, it's mental. When you believe that this life is the only option, that you have no power, that things will never change, that's when the system wins. Because when people are truly enslaved, they don't need fences, just fear, just belief. Your mind is the battlefield. And they've been winning for decades. But once you wake up, they lose everything. Here's the truth. You are not powerless, you are not broken, you are not alone, but you've been lied to, distracted, conditioned. The real revolution starts within. Question the job, question the system, question the screen, learn, unlearn, rebuild, because the most dangerous person is the one who's no longer afraid. So ask yourself, am I living freely or just existing inside invisible walls? If this video opened your eyes, don't just think, reflect, act, and leave a comment below. Which form of modern slavery do you think is the most dangerous? And why? Let's wake each other up, one truth at a time.